So you got your plants, and if they're still in the same pots that they came in, we got a problem. Or maybe you already moved them, but they're still in the wrong pot. And now they're looking sad, they're not growing, or they flat out just gave up. I've been there. Crispy leaves, no fruit, trying everything but still losing plants. So today I want to walk you through what actually matters and what doesn't, and no fluff. So let's talk about pot size, because this right here might be the first and probably the only reason that your plants aren't thriving. I got a lot more, but let's start off with the size of your pot. Think of it like Goldilocks. Not too big, not too small, just the right size for the plant that you are growing. Not the actual size that you purchased, but what you're putting your plants in. If your pots are too small, the roots can't stretch. If the roots can't stretch, that causes stunt growth, no harvest. In some cases, your plant's gonna be looking the same with the same little lonely little pepper that it came with, or no harvest at all. So let's take sweet potatoes. If you plant them in a little 3-gallon pot, they're going to just grow leaves all day. But don't expect a nice juicy potato harvest if they don't have room to grow. And the same goes for certain peppers. Some of them may need depth and space to get big and juicy. Without that, you're going to get small, stressed out looking plants with tiny harvests. So you can pause it here to capture a quick cheat sheet to help in putting your plants in the right pots. Now, if you're going to plant herbs or lettuce or greens, 1 to 2 gallon size pot works great. Now, if you're moving to peppers or strawberries or bush tomatoes, a 3 to 5 size gallon is perfect. Now, let's talk about our vining tomatoes, our zucchinis and eggplant. A size 7 to 10 is ideal. For our larger vegetables and fruits like our sweet potatoes, our dwarf trees and okra, 15 to 25 gallon up is perfect. Now your bananas, papayas, mangoes, your big fruits, 25 gallon and up. This is what you want to put your plants in. So I'm not telling you go out there and spend a bunch of money on pots. No, listen carefully. Now, a lot of these pots you already may have in your backyard, especially if you have been gardening for a while. If you are a hoarder like me, you have a bunch of these containers already back there, especially if you've been buying pots or buying plants and moving them as they grow. Old buckets, storage bins, nursery pots, or even some grow bags from last year, it's fine. Just make sure they're the right size for your plants and they drain well. It's not about spending more money. It's about matching the plants to the space. And when you get that part right, everything else is easy. Listen, the roots will tell you everything you need to know. And you want to know what's really going on? Forget about the leaves. Look at the roots. Tanga roots means they're too small for that pot. And now if the roots are mushy, it's too much water, not enough drainage. Black and slimy means you got root rot. So you want to rinse it, trim it, and repot it. The roots are like a report card. They show you everything you need to know about your plants. Now, the biggest mistake I have made myself is not checking for drainage holes. Now, I know something like this is cute and it matches the patio set, but if it ain't draining, your plant is basically sitting in a swamp. If you got a pot that you really love, just make sure it has the right holes and you can drill them in that pot. Just a reminder, if you're reusing old pots, and you should, just give them a rinse. Leftover soil can carry fungus, pests, or disease. Use soap and water and let them dry out in the sun. You can use vinegar if you have it, and just making sure that you're not going out there and spending extra money that you don't have to. Let's move on. So now you have them in the best pot, but then you're like, what's up with my soil? Your soil is one of the biggest reasons that most of our plants are not thriving. Now, the best type of soil, my personal belief, is the one that you created yourself. And there's a few ways to do that. You can use compost, some leaves, some mulch, some kitchen scraps. That is the good stuff. But if you don't have the time and you're just getting started and you're like, I need to get my plants in my pots, don't worry. You can still build your soil over time and use the best type of container or mix in your pots. Just avoid garden soil, in-ground soil, or topsoil. That is going to suffocate your plants. And also add a little bit of compost or worm casting to your pots. It's going to be a lifesaver. So let's break down some garden myths, especially about tomatoes. Now, you're determining tomatoes. This is a one set size, one wave of fruit, and you want to have them in a 5 to 7 gallon is fine. So what does determinate mean? It reached a determined size, it fruit all at once, and that's it. Now, your indeterminate tomatoes, these are vining. They keep growing. So they need about 10 to 15 gallons minimum. They will fruit all the way until a cold take them out, especially your Everglades. So leaving them in a small size pot is not doing justice. So your tomato vine is at least 6 feet tall and your pot is the size of a cereal bowl. It's not for you. That's not the setup. Sorry. You need to upsize that plant. So other pot size tips, leafy greens, they need shallow pots. Your root crops need deep pots, especially like carrots, because if you get a small pot, it's just going to stump its growth. If you get a size pot like this for carrots, your carrots are going to be very small. So think of the size of the fruit is going to help you determine the size of the pot. Your top heavy plots like eggplants and peppers, they need bigger base for stability. Let's talk about the different types of pots. Terracotta pots, they're so pretty. They look so gorgeous in your garden, but they dry out fast. So your plastic pots, these are nice and easy. They're less expensive and they're lightweight, but they retain moisture. Now your fabric, those are my favorite. Those are your grow bags. They're great for drainage. They help with root pruning. They're flexible. You can pick them up and move them. Now ceramic pots, they're beautiful, but they're heavy. So unless you're going to put them down and don't move them, that's fine. And my last one is wood or your metal, but they're less common and they're also more maintenance. For me, I think they attract a lot more of the ants. I don't know why, but just be mindful of the type of pots that you're putting and what plants you're putting in those pots. Your plant's mobility. So if you need to move your garden around, think ahead, because for instance, these big old pots behind me are hard to move. So I got to bring my muscle guy, my husband, to help me move them most of the time. So if you're grabbing a pot that's 20 pounds full of soil and you don't have a gym membership, please make sure you grab a rolling base or a dolly to ensure you can put it right under there and keep it moving around the garden. Because what's happening is, if you ain't got a muscle guy like I do and it help you move around things, or you're not that gym person, it's going to be stuck there. So part of our container garden is being able to move your pots around as needed and as the weather change, and constrain you if you have a big pot. So now if you did all of that, you're like, well, Tony, it's in the right pot and it still looks sad. It's been in the right pot. Let's check a few things. It's checking the placement. Maybe you have it, for instance, these back here was never right here. I originally had them on the opposite side of the house and I was so proud and happy. They were thriving. 2 months down the line, all of them look sad because there was not enough sunlight in that area. So I brought them right back over here. And again, going back to my lesson of making sure you have these little dollies or wheeling trays, whatever you want to call them, I had to move it. Not really me. My husband had to move it from all the way on the opposite side. And now it's doing great. So it can be the too much sun or not enough sun. That's a great way to identify what's wrong with your plants. So you change the soil and you change the location and it's still not doing well. But did you feed it? A good slow fertilizer can help your pots. Or adding compost to your pots is also a great way to ensure that your plants in those pots are not losing and continue to lose more nutrients, because you feed your plants, it's going to feed you back. I hope those steps help you diagnose what's wrong with your plant. So sometimes it's not just about what's on the outside, it's what's in the inside that matters. And that goes the same thing with your pots. So checking those things and helping understand the issue is going to bring your plant back to life. Don't give up. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of love. That's all. If those did not work for you and you're still having some issues, put it in a comment below. I'll meet you there and we'll help diagnose and treat your plant one step at a time. Thanks for watching. Bye.